Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video and welcome to round 12 of our F1 24 Salvaging Sauber career mode. We return this weekend here to the Autodromo Nazionale di Monza. Yes, the Temple of Speed returns for the Italian Grand Prix. Of course, if you missed out on the video that went live a few days ago, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out. Last race went really well for us, as a lot of the races have done throughout the second half of this season. It really has kind of felt that Austria was kind of a breakthrough race for us with that P2 finished. 8th at Silverstone, a 4th place in Belgium. Hopefully Monza this weekend we can see more of the same, and maybe, just maybe, we can try and beat out Oscar Piastri in the championship as well. Constructors wise, Drivers' Championship, Verstappen is dominating both of them. The Red Bull man, what's that, 76 points clear, 86 points clear of anybody else there. Ferrari and Red Bull very close in the constructors. Sergio Perez is keeping that one interesting at this stage of the campaign as well. But yeah, with 5 race weekends left of the season, and of course 2 of those being sprints, there is still a lot left to be decided inside this first season. I'm planning on trying to smash out one more season as well of this career mode, obviously before F1 25 releases as well. Get yourself subscribed if you're new. We are trying to hit 7k subs on the channel at the moment. But yeah, let's do this thing.
For over a century, the Temple of Speed has all come down to moments like this. Driver versus the stopwatch to set the grid for the Grand Prix. It is qualifying at Monza.
Well, horrible conditions then here on Saturday afternoon. The rain has really fallen all weekend so far, but it is meant to dry up, ready for Grand Prix Sunday. So how much risk do you take? Do you try and make sure that the car, is good enough that you can qualify towards the front in qualifying? Or do you focus on making sure that you got a good race set up and then potentially have to try and fight your way back through the order? My plan this weekend is to try and go somewhere kind of down the middle, qualify, hopefully in kind of the top half of the grid, and then maybe just see if we can stay there as we head into race day as well. Of course, all the Ferrari-powered cars, though, inside this game are really, really well suited to this high-speed circuit as well, so hopefully that's a good omen, not only obviously for Ferrari, but also for Haas and ourselves there. It's just trying to dance the car through those first couple of chicanes. A little bit kind of not aggressive enough through the first Lesmo there. Just dropping a few tenths of a second as we try and put the power down through the second one. Of course, no DRS in this session. I mean, we were P1 coming at that first chicane. Now we're all the way down to P16, so we're going to have to be a little bit brave in through Ascari. So luckily there is going to be opportunities to go for moves as we head into the race event there, but just trying to attack as much curbing as we possibly can through the exit of the Ascari chicane. They're still outside the top 10 at the moment, and looking like we're just dropping places as the lap has continued to unfold there. That won't do us any favours. Horrible line through the final couple of turns, and while trying to put the power down, again another big mistake. Just like Montreal, we kept it out the wall, but P20 on the grid. Well, Lando Norris started the year strong, but really has been in the doldrums ever since then. He will claim pole position here ahead of Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen. Oscar Piastri will join the Dutchman on the second row. Bottas again in P14, looking fairly competitive in that car at the moment. Yes, he's not quite able to achieve the same highs as we have, but he is definitely, going better than the V-Carbs, better than the Hasses quite regularly now as well. P20 for us, though. I'm going to put some fresh components in the back of the car, and I'll see you guys down on the grid.
The third permanent circuit built anywhere on Earth. Monza has always been special. Now it's been providing motor racing memories for a century. Welcome to the Italian Grand Prix. Monza, northeast of Milan, some of the most iconic turns in all of racing. The chicane at turn 1 and 2, the Variante Ascari at turns 8, 9 and 10, and the Parabolica to conclude things at turn 11. We are full throttle for 80% of the lap. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Lando Norris put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he will start from pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Oscar Piastri, Fernando Alonso, Sainz, Hamilton, Russell, Stroll, Albon, Perez, Ocon, Gasly, Bottas, Tsunoda, Hulkenberg, Magnussen, Sargent, Ricciardo, and Mr. Monaco. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Well, around a circuit like this, a lot of what we're going to be able to do today is just going to be decided by kind of how the other cars bunch up. We see it all the time inside F124, but, you know, with the AI and their DRS trains, if a couple of cars in front of you go side by side, the cars in front of that just kind of say goodbye. 19 laps ahead of us, though, ready for this one, waiting on the grid for those 5 red lights. It's going to be lights out and away we go. Then Logan Sargent not getting off to a particularly good getaway, so we will immediately say goodbye to him on the run in towards turn 1. I want to try and cover the inside line as best as I can. Clearly, Ricciardo had the same idea. That actually might be Yuki Tsunoda, sorry. In towards turn 1, and just everybody trying to stay out of trouble. I can hear plenty of contact on my inside. I'm pretty certain we're still 3 wide as we try and put the power down off the exit of the corner, but gaining a few spots then. Nice and early on in the lap. Again, say, in a car like this race is going to be all about trying to maximise opportunity and playing really, really intelligently here. I usually describe Monza in this game as more of a chess match than anything else, because you are just trying to pick your moves, pick your battles. And for the first time all weekend, we can actually attack the Lesmos with some straight line speed as well, because, well, up to this point, that has not been possible in the wet conditions. I think I'm running 7 front and 5 rear wing. So when we get to the first round of stops, if we're really struggling to kind of make up too much progress, I might try and take a couple of clicks out of the front wing as well. That could be useful into the second half of the race, and something that I feel is often underutilised inside F125, sorry, F124 even, by a lot of drivers as well. Even I'm jumping the gun now on F125 excitement, but end of lap 1, we're up 3 spots. Whoa, whoa, Hulkenberg, okay. Down the inside, we'll spot that one luckily. And we'll get past the Haasman then. So again, everybody Constantine running up through that first corner. I genuinely had no intention of going for that. But I guess P16 is ours. I mean, I have no idea how far this train of cars extends to, but it's got to be right towards the front of the order here. Definitely comfortably into the points, as most AI just opting to stay line astern, but you can see a couple of drivers trying to go for moves. I think that's Alex Albon, and I would assume Lance Stroll there, going wheel to wheel out of the final corner there. But let's see what straight line speed this Sauber car's got underneath it. There goes 220 miles an hour back in towards turn 1, 225 miles an hour. As Ricciardo, I believe that is, tries to cover off the inside. I've got no idea which V-carb I've already gone past and which one I'm now banging wheels with down at turn 1. We're past another one then and up into P15 as we watch Bottas fight with one of the Alpines. Earlier on this year, of course, Alpine was the best of the backmarkers, so great to see that kind of we've caught them up, even with Bottas behind the wheel. But yeah, you just got to be so careful of losing a front wing, especially with how the AI love to bunch up. Oh, that's happened again, the second time in this race. Bottas, I'm so sorry. What it is obviously when you're in the cockpit cam, your reference points are slightly distorted. And I genuinely had kind of got into, I don't know, my mind was somewhere else there on the braking in towards turn 1 and almost completely missed the braking point yet again. Luckily, we'll get the dive to the inside of our teammate there and it'll be fairly compliant. But we could have wiped out both Saubers for a momentary lapse of concentration. I mean, look how aggressive the AI being up the road there. Definitely track position seems to be king around this circuit today, and everybody wants as much of it as they possibly can there. A little bit of a wobble to make our way out of a Ascari, but yeah, it's Monza. The race is always going to feel fast-paced and frantic inside this game. As we make our way through the final corner then, we've just taken a couple of laps to try and recharge the battery pack, just so hopefully we can get another run on an Alpine car back in towards turn 1. No idea whether it's Ocon or Gasly. Let's just see again then, 220 miles an hour as we make our way back towards that first corner. The Alpines are basically going to try and form a wall against me there as Ocon will then dive to the inside of Pierre. We've actually got Bottas, who kind of went for a bit of a move on myself there. And look at that, yeah. There you go. Ocon has made the move then on Pierre as we make our way out through Curva Grande. Will we see Pierre Gasly a little bit vulnerable as well? potentially for another overtake in towards the next chicane, down the inside, or a little bit of a front locking, have a bit of a wobble. We'll make sure we give him the room, and we have made it through, but that might have disconnected us from the DRS of the cars in front. That is not what we need. It won't take long then before Pierre Gasly is trying to have a look straight back past me there. We've got to now work together to make sure we don't lose too much time to Esteban and the rest of the crew there a little bit further up the road. We'll just keep trying to slipstream each other. We need to kind of push Pierre Gasly along, but I think we just need to wait for the DRS back in towards turn 1 there. I mean, look how close you are behind the car in front there, almost giving him a bump and run. Tandem drafting back in towards that first turn there, but a little over 10 laps to go. Team, I think, are going to want us into the pit lane pretty soon, as now here comes Valtteri Bottas as well in this race, as Valtteri's going to go past me. Surely he's not going to go straight past Pierre Gasly as well. I think he's going to try it in towards that first braking zone. And watching our teammate then really try and go for it here. Not going to make it happen, however. Well, are we going to see Valtteri attempt to go for the move yet again then on Gasly on the run back down in towards turn 1? We are just about hanging on inside the DRS of the pair of them. You can see all this squabbling is just allowing the rest of the cars to pull away at this stage of the Grand Prix there, and it might be the first time in quite a few races that we're not going to score any points at the moment. A lot can still change. All it takes is one moment, one safety car to kind of reset this one. But yeah, right now it looks like we're going to be fighting for P13. Well, we've got to try and make sure we get the car slowed down nice and tidy into the pit lane. Obviously, if you guys have been watching over on the driver career mode on the main channel, you know, we've had a few issues with pit stops in recent weeks, so hopefully this one can be fairly clean and tidy here. Gasly and Bottas will both stay out. No idea where we picked up some underbody damage, but that's not ideal then. So hopefully a few of the other cars will be held up in the pit lane there. Looks like Perez has been a little bit. And we will get out ahead of one of the Alpines there. So that must be Esteban Ocon that we've held up slightly. So he'll also get held up by one of the Haas cars as well. So suddenly now we are a lot closer to the Frenchman than we were. But yeah, only 9 laps left to do anything about it. Could Gasly potentially try and, you know, Gasly and Bottas undercut and maybe bring ourselves closer? Because it was kind of Esteban that created this gap by a bit of an aggressive move on his teammate. I'm not too sure. Who is that behind us then at the moment who's closing in? No, I know that's Ocon in front. Damn it! Let me talk to let me ask the questions I want, Mark, please. We want driver behind. He's not going to be behind me for very long then, as we've got all those other cars making their way back out of the pit lane. So it looks like Bottas has lost out ever so slightly to Pierre Gasly there, as Tsunoda now will try and go around our teammates outside or through turn 1. A little bit of wheel banging as we try and make sure that we keep our car alongside our teammate as well. But after so many good races strung together, it was always going to have to come to an end. I just never thought it would be the Temple of Speed where that might happen. Ugh. Oh, I had no intention of trying to go around the outside of Valtteri again. There's wheel contact between the pair of us, and well, all this is doing is just allowing Tsunoda to break free. I think, has Valtteri got some front wing damage on that car? He looked alright through the first chicane, but through the first Lesmo, but he definitely seems to be struggling a little bit. See if we can have a look to the outside of him. As yeah, I think he's missing an end plate, so not too sure what's happened to Bottas then in this Grand Prix, but around the outside we'll go, absolutely sending it over the curbs. Let's try and stick with Yuki. Whatever I do at this stage of the race, we just cannot seem to get close enough to Yuki Tsunoda right now. That gap is just staying over the 1 second range. We're under more and more pressure from someone behind. No idea who even this is. I think I'm just picking up little bits of floor damage over the curves, which is causing real problems. Here is Hulkenberg. Is going to get back past us on the run down towards turn 1. 5 laps left of this race. It has been a very painful one today, but we've just got to try and make sure we see the checkered flag. Well, I guess Nico and I can try to work together just to close back in a little bit more on Tsunoda, and if that doesn't work, at least it's given us a bit of a race on our hands towards the end of the afternoon. Again, we'll try and use the battery on the run back in towards turn 1. Hopefully it should be a fairly simple DRS move as well, as Nico Hulkenberg, he's going to try and defend it on the inside line. To the outside we will go. Very late on the brakes there. Oh, a little bit of contact again. So I thought he'll just back out of it a little bit more than he wanted to. I think we'll both get away with that one, but again, just today, really has struggled. Well, the team just saying more and more problems with the car right now, as I think Hulkenberg wanted to go to the outside of us. That won't happen. It was Bottas, actually, as well, that's been involved, and there was about 3 cars down or inside at turn 1. No idea who was as well behind us, but a bit like Canada then. We qualify on the back row, we get so close to fighting for the points early on, and then just things really kind of unravel in the second half of the GP. 2 laps remaining after this one. I think the main goal today is, again, just finish ahead of all the other, you know, Ferrari-powered cars, if you get me. Basically, just beat the Hasses. Oh no, I don't even know who this is. It's Logan Sargent in the Williams then, who absolutely flew past me down at the final corner there, and you would expect that car. I mean, Albon, pretty certain, is up fighting in and around the top 10. That car's certainly capable of it around a circuit like this, as I assume this is now, yeah, one of the V-carbs as well. Everybody is trying to go past us, well, towards the end of the afternoon. There's Sonoda there, or no, that's Ricciardo, isn't it? Sorry. Oh, I thought about it. On Logan Sargent down in towards turn 1, but definitely doesn't have the confidence he did 10 years ago when he was making overtakes pretty much everywhere around this circuit at the wheel of his Red Bull. But down to P19 then, we have got Magnussen all over my gearbox as well. Every car's still running, actually, in this GP, but 1 lap left after this one. Bottas now has moved to the front of this little group. Everybody is just battling for the wooden spoon. I just want to make sure I don't finish last. I really don't think Bottas's damage has cost him too much throughout this Grand Prix either. He doesn't even seem to be losing much in a straight line, but just trying to save as much battery as we can. No point really using it here, because we're just kind of in a slipstream battle with Kevin Magnussen back towards turn 1, but will we see the AI bunch up just in front there to the outside once again of the Dane? We will just try and once more keep the nose there. Bottas looks like he lost 2 places at that first corner, so I think again Logan Sargent and the straight line speed of that Williams car really helping him out. Everybody running out of battery charge, those who make our way up to Curva Grande, but that's not going to stop Ricciardo looking for it against our teammate as well. Once again, on such a straight line orientated circuit, this Sauber's weakness has really been exposed today. It just doesn't like fast circuits with really slow chicanes, because that's basically all this place and Montreal really are then. But will we see Ricciardo get a run on Valtteri down in towards Ascari? Will we be able to do anything on the exit of the corner, as Magnussen still trying to close in on myself there? Does rather rapidly right at the end. Oh man, I know it's only 1 more place. It makes next to no difference at the end of this one, but just to lose it in the very last few corners, we're not going to lose any points from it. I'm sure it won't make a difference come the end of the season, but I think that just sums up our afternoon here. Things have been looking so good in the last few Grand Prix. We really cannot let this kind of get the better of us towards the end of the year, but through the final corner, it is going to be P20 here at the Temple of Speed. You know what, we'll even dive into the pit lane 1 lap early, just to make sure we cross the line there. What a disappointing end to the event.
What a way to head to victory! Lando Norris takes the win!
I mean, it looked like they were in a different category at points during the race, led every lap. I mean, what more can we say?
And look at that, they're making their way out onto the podium now. Great race for the McLaren team, and I'm very happy to see them there on the top step of the podium.
There we are then, Lando Norris race winner here and absolutely dominated proceedings at the front around this circuit. 13 seconds clear of Fernando Alonso, 19 seconds clear of Carlos Sainz come the end of that one, so I'm guessing he got an early lead and just never really looked back. Both Spaniards though joining him on the podium, Charles Leclerc in 4th there, Alex Albon P5. That surely has obliterated Alpine's hopes of beating out Williams in the Drivers' and Constructors' Championship this year. Albon able to beat out Hamilton, Oscar Piastri, and even world champion Max Verstappen there. Russell in 9th ahead of Perez, so it was just your, obviously your big 5 teams and Albon that were able to score around this venue. P20 for us though, P17 for Bottas. Worryingly that qualifying seemed to be our strongest showing of the entire weekend, but you can even see based on the fastest laps, we just never really had the pace around this circuit this weekend. Championship-wise, Verstappen is gap at the top down to just 78 though, but I believe with 120 still available, he could wrap up the title next time out at Interlagos. Lando Norris, I think, wants to try and come back resurgent, get ahead of both Ferraris before the end of the year there. We are still in P10 overall, and now Albon ahead of Lance Stroll as well. That's quite impressive for him. Ferrari 15 clear of Red Bull now in the Constructors. McLaren open up a sizable margin ahead of Mercedes once again. Williams jump Alpine as well into P8, and it is still just V-Carb and Haas that are yet to score. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll be back very soon ready for the Brazilian Grand Prix.